Thanks for gathering with me here today. And unless you've been locked away or under a rock for the past couple of years, I'm sure you've heard of ISIS. ISIS is a up-and-coming terrorist group. They can potentially be a big threat to our society. Today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the history of ISIS and how they came to be, and what their plan is, and basically just an overview of everything about them. Alright, first I'm going to talk about some history. ISIS stands for Islamic State of Iraq and Syria. Well, they didn't start out as that. They started as ISI, which means Islamic State of Iraq. This started in 1999 when a small group of Iraqi terrorists led by Abu Musab wanted to basically create a terrorist group. Well, they thought that it'd be a good idea to just join Al-Qaeda. Well, when they met up with Al-Qaeda, they found out that Al-Qaeda was too nice for them. They didn't like the way they did things. They thought they were too easy on the people, and that they really wanted to take their terrorist group in different directions. Their main thing is they want to be known as the meanest, cruelest people out there. They won't stop at anything to basically, until you believe what they believe, they're not going to stop. They were known for the suicide bombings that we've all heard about over in Iraq and Iran and all that stuff. Or Al-Qaeda was more just the roadside bombs and stuff like that. Well, ISI back then, was actually almost destroyed in 2008 when the American forces came in. They basically almost completely wiped them out to the point where they had to lay low for about 3 or 4 years. Well, once the Syrian rebellion started, ISIS saw their opportunity to become big and known again. They decided to go into Syria, start recruiting people, turn serious people against its own government, and use it to their own advantage. Next, I'm going to talk about ISIS versus the USA. Now, there's been a few major parts between ISIS and the USA. The first started on August 19, 2014. This was when James Foley, an American journalist, was captured and then beheaded beheaded by ISIS. They recorded it, they posted it online for basically the whole world to see. Well, Obama came out and said, that they knew that they had him, but we don't negotiate with terrorists, which he caught a lot of scrutiny for. Well, just a few weeks later, Stephen Sotliff, another journalist, was beheaded once again on camera, and they posted it online for the whole world to see. Now, America had a few different responses to this that they were going to take. A lot of people wanted to send ground troops over to Syria to stop ISIS and wipe them out. But a problem with that is that people didn't want another Iraq, where when they entered Iraq, they thought that it was going to be a 6-week campaign, they were going to march right in, have no opposition, be done, get out of there. But as we know now, that didn't happen in Iraq. We're still messing around over there. So they decided to go with airstrikes instead. Well, the problem with airstrikes is that ISIS isn't like the old wars we used to see. Back in 1939, when the Nazis invaded Poland, they marched right down the street, main street of Poland. You kind of knew where they were. Where ISIS and the more known terrorists today like to play the shadow games, where they hit a spot and then they disappear. And we do these airstrikes, but it's kind of a guessing game. And so ISIS has been able to grow their numbers. A way they do this is with their recruitment skills. ISIS has taken the age of technology to their own advantage. They use Twitter and Facebook and all those social media sites to gain new members. There's been countless stories of people getting contacted by ISIS and actually teenagers running away from home to go and join them. Well, they have actually been known to gain about 1,000 people each month in recruitment, where in the past 8 months, we have only known to kill 6,000 with our airstrikes. So they're growing faster than we can kill them. So that's kind of where the problem comes in. And also on the social media, they like to taunt the world. You know, they send out these tweets about how they're going to kill everyone, all these Americans, behead our president, and all that. So they're able to do all this while still being unknown of where they are. Now let's talk about a little bit about ISIS's plan. ISIS basically just wants to take over the world. That is their main plan. They're an Islamic group, and they want it to be an Islamic world. Now there's some scrutiny from the Islamic people because they don't say that ISIS is truly Islamic. They want to be known more as peaceful people, where ISIS will do literally whatever it takes for you to become an Islamic. Sorry. And so that is why they are kind of this new type of terrorist. Well, Al-Qaeda, you know, they too want people to be converted, but they don't do it to a level that ISIS has taken it to. So they must be stopped, but the question is, how do we stop them? Now there's a couple ways that people say that we should stop ISIS, and the first one is to stop publicity of them. You know, they get all these recruitments because every day you turn on the news and you see something new about it. Well, if you cut that off, you may be able to cut some of the people that see all this stuff from joining them. And that is really the first step we can take into stopping ISIS. And in conclusion, I hope that I brought some information about ISIS to your attention. I think we can all agree that they are a major threat and something that needs to be dealt with and stopped in the near future. And thank you for listening to my presentation.
Yay. You got about 10 seconds, Evan.